All right, so you ready to like totally nerd out on some Shakespeare?
Get me with it.
Okay, so Hamlet, right. But not the whole play this time. Just this one crazy intense speech, that soliloquy in Act 4, Scene 4.
Ah, yeah, the one where he's like totally losing his shit.
Exactly. It's like Shakespeare crammed, I don't know, a whole philosophy class into like, what, 20 lines?
More like a therapy session, am I right? This is Hamlet at his most raw, man.
Totally. But before we like dissect everywhere, we got to set the scene, Where are we in the play?
Okay, so remember, Hamlet's just run into Fortinbras's army.
Yeah, those guys are on the march, ready to rumble.
And it's all over this, like, totally worthless piece of land.
It's insane. These dudes are about to die for what? Bragging rights?
Exactly. It makes zero sense. And that's what sends Hamlet spiraling, you know? He's watching these guys march toward death for nothing.
And it makes him question his own, inaction.
Big time. Like, if they can die for that crap, why can't I get off my ass and avenge my dad?
Heavy stuff, man. So this soliloquy, it starts with, and I'm quoting here, how all occasions do inform against me and spur my dull revenge. Just damn.
Yeah, even the first line is like a punch to the gut.
So much guilt and frustration right from the start.
Totally. Like, everything around him is a reminder of what he hasn't done, you know? Like, dude, avenge your dad already.
And it gets even darker, like straight up existential crisis.
Oh, yeah, here it comes. The big one.
What is a man, he asks, if his chief good and market of his time be but to sleep and feed, a beast no more?
Whoa. Like, what's even the point of being human if all we do is eat and sleep? We're just animals then, right?
Like, what makes us special? What's our purpose? It's deep, man.
And then he goes on about how we're wasting our potential, that godlike reason.
Yeah, that line, sure, he that made us with such large discourse, looking before and after, gave us not that capability and godlike reason to fasten us unused.
Like, we were given this amazing gift, this ability to think and reason, but we're letting it rot.
He's basically saying he's failing at being human.
Pretty much.
And then he digs even deeper into his own head, right?
Oh, yeah. This is where he gets really brutal with himself.
He's like, now, whether it be bestial oblivion or some craven scruple of thinking too precisely on the event, I do not know why, yet I live to say this thing's to do, sith I have cause and will and strengths and means to do't.
Okay, unpack that one for me. It's a mouthful.
Basically, he's trying to figure out why he's so stuck, Is he just being lazy, forgetting his duty like an animal? Or is he overthinking it all, too scared to act?
Two sides of the same coin? Kind of.
Yeah.
Either way, he's paralyzed.
Totally. And the crazy thing is, he knows he has everything he needs to take revenge.
He literally says he has the cause, will, strength, and means.
But he still hasn't done it. It's maddening.
Right. You just want to shake him and be like, dude, what are you waiting for? But then he brings up Fortinbras and his army again, which just makes things worse.
Like he's rubbing salt in the wound.
Exactly. He's like, examples gross as earth exhort me. Witness this army of such mass and charge, led by a delicate and tender prince, whose spirit, with divine ambition puffed, makes mouths at the invisible event.
Whoa, slow down there, Shakespeare. That's a lot to process.
He's basically saying, look at these guys. They're about to die for a stupid reason, and I can't even act when I have a real reason, a real cause.
It's like he's using them to punish himself. Like, look at how pathetic I am compared to these guys.
Exactly. And then he gets to that line about greatness, which is super important.
The one about finding a reason to fight, even if it's over something small.
Yeah. Rightly to be great is not to stir without great argument, but greatly to find quarrel in a straw when honor's at the stake. It's like he's redefining what it means to be a hero.
So it's not about avoiding conflict, but about finding something worth fighting for.
Even if it seems insignificant, as long as your honor's on the line.
Which, of course, makes Hamlet look even worse, because he's got this huge reason to fight.
And he's still doing nothing.
So he lays it all out there. All the reasons he should be acting.
Yeah, it's like he's listing them off, one by one.
He says, how stand I then, that have a father killed, a mother stained, excitements of my reason and my blood, and let all sleep, while to my shame I see the imminent death of 20,000 men that, for a fantasy and trick of fame, go to their graves like beds.
It's heartbreaking, really. He's got all this pain, this anger, but he's letting it fester inside him.
It's like he's frozen in time, stuck in his own head while the world moves on around him.
And those soldiers, they're dying for a fantasy and trick of fame while he can't even act to avenge his own father.
It's the ultimate contrast. And then the soliloquy builds to this incredible climax.
The part where he finally makes a decision.
Yeah, he's like, oh, from this time forth, my thoughts be bloody or be nothing worth.
He's done with thinking. He's ready for action, ready for revenge.
But the question is, will he actually follow through?
Knowing Hamlet, it's anyone's guess. I mean, is it though? Is it a real turning point? Because, like, we know Hamlet, right? Dude's the king of overthinking.
It's totally. Always stuck in his head. It's almost like he's mesmerized by those soldiers, you know?
Right? They're about to, like, die for nothing, and he's over here obsessing about his own problems.
It's such a weird contrast, isn't it? Fortinbras, all action, no thought. And then Hamlet, all thought, no action.
Yeah, but come on. Isn't Fortinbras kind of an idiot? Like, risking everything for a stupid piece of land?
True, true. Maybe it's not so simple, huh? Maybe Hamlet's right to be cautious, to think things through.
Yeah, there's going to be a balance, right?
Totally. But at some point, you got to stop thinking and just do something.
Easier said than done, right?
This whole soliloquy, it's not just about Hamlet, you know? It's about all of us. We all get stuck sometimes.
Yeah, it's like Shakespeare's holding up a mirror to our own, what, insecurities?
Totally.
Hey.
We've all got that voice in our heads, second-guessing everything.
So what's the lesson here? What's Shakespeare trying to tell us?
I don't know, man. It's complicated, but I think it's about finding that sweet spot, that balance between thinking and doing.
Like, be smart, but don't overthink it. Be brave, but don't be stupid.
Exactly. But going back to that line, oh, from this time forth, my thoughts be bloody or be nothing worth, like, do you think he means it?
I mean, he does eventually get his revenge.
Just spoiler alert.
Sorry. But yeah, I guess the question is it driven by genuine resolves or just like a last-minute freak out?
Yeah. And does it even matter? Like, as long as he finally does something, right?
I think it matters. Because if it's just a freak out, it's not a real change, you know? He's still not in control.
True. So maybe the soliloquy, it's not really a solution. It's more like another layer of the problem.
Yeah, it's like he's still wrestling with himself, trying to figure out who he is and what he's supposed to do.
It's kind of like us right now, trying to figure out what this soliloquy even means.
Exactly. Shakespeare wasn't giving us easy answers. He was giving us questions. Big, messy, uncomfortable questions.
And I think that's what makes this stuff so great, you know? It makes you think. Makes you feel something.
It makes you realize that you're not alone in your struggles. Like, even Hamlet, this prince, this, like, icon, he was messed up too.
So what's the takeaway for us regular folks just trying to get through the day?
Man, I don't know. Be aware of your own bullshit. Like, notice when you're overthinking things or procrastinating or whatever.
Self-awareness, right. Check yourself before you wreck yourself.
Exactly. And maybe, just maybe, have a little bit of both Hamlet and Fortinbras in you, you know?
Like, be thoughtful, but also be ready to take action.
Yeah, find that balance. Because life, it throws you curveballs. You got to be prepared for anything.
Sometimes you got to think things through, and sometimes you got to just go with your gut.
And sometimes you just got to accept that you're going to screw up. It's all part of the journey, right?
Preach. Okay, so I feel like we're getting all philosophical and stuff, which is cool, but there's still more to unpack in this soliloquy. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We're just scratching the surface here. Like, we haven't even talked about the language itself, right? Shakespeare's word game is so strong.
It's insane. Like, how can something written, what, like 400 years ago,
right,
still hit us so hard?
Right. It's like he tapped into some, I don't know, like universal truth about being human.
It's kind of freaky when you think about it. Like, we're
Yeah.
still dealing with the same crap Hamlet was dealing with.
Exactly. Love, death, purpose, revenge, all that jazz. Some things never change, man.
Okay, so big picture, right? We've gone line by line through the soliloquy. We've analyzed the hell out of Hamlet, compared him to Fortinbras, all that. Where do we land? What's the takeaway?
Honestly, I don't think there is one. Like one easy answer.
You think Shakespeare was just messing with us, throwing out all these questions and not giving us any solutions?
Kind of, yeah. I mean, he's making us think, right? Making us question our own assumptions about life, about what it means to be a good person, all that.
So it's not about finding the right answer. It's about what the journey, the process of figuring things out.
Exactly. And like embracing the fact that there might not be a right answer.
Whoa. Okay, so we're all just making it up as we go along.
Pretty much. But the cool thing is, like, we're not alone in that. We've got these, like, literary guides, these voices from the past to help us along the way.
It's like having Shakespeare as your therapist, kind of.
Totally. He's like, hey, life's messy, it's confusing, you're going to screw up, but guess what? Everyone else is too.
Okay, so last question. Hamlet himself, hero or villain, brilliant or just a whiny dude who can't get his act together?
Man, he's kind of all of those things, isn't he?
That's what makes it so interesting, right? He's complicated, just like a real person.
Exactly. He's flawed, but he's trying. And, like, isn't that all we can really ask of ourselves?
Deep. Okay, so to wrap things up, I think the big lesson here from Hamlet, from this soliloquy, is like, don't be afraid to ask the tough questions, even if you don't find the answers.
And don't be afraid to feel your feelings, even the messy ones.
And most importantly, don't be afraid to act, even if you're not sure what the outcome will be. All right, that's it for this deep dive, folks. Thanks for hanging out with us. Hope you learned something, or at least had a good laugh. Until next time, peace out.